violence. Almost a week ago.
For days, thousands have filled the streets.
Well, hello. It is Monday, and welcome to the Mike and Mindy Show. It's Cast Monday because I spent 2 hours on a stream going over my Vampirella drawing contest submissions. So it feels like forever since we've done this. But I'm glad we're here. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
P. says, hi, Mike and Mindy. I'm between 3 shows. Yours, Mike Miller, and Gary's. Wow, busy night. Hey, Rebel Gaming, Niobe. Hello, Larry. Good to see everybody. We've missed you. I've missed you. It's been a chill day. I'm in a happy mood today. You know, some days are crazier than others, but the past 2 weeks between the Dynamite drama and then Dynamite coming out that they were like funding Comicsgate from the beginning, basically, and all of that. Then my campaign ended and the contest was over. And I've been working with a comic shop since all week on things, graphics, sketch covers, things, working on pages, planning out Karma. I got an artist to come help me out that I really, really like. And it looks like the release date, if all goes as planned and if it works, we're thinking of Halloween for releasing the first issue of Karma. Fun podcast interview. I hope you do more. Oh, thanks, P Money. I was curious to see your guys' opinion on that one because normally I'm talking now with people who agree with me. And that was the first time in a long time I've had a conversation where people didn't agree with me. So did I do okay?
Oh, shit. I have a conversation where people don't agree with me every day.
I know you do, obviously. That's who you are as a person, Mike. That's just part of your being. I know. Speaking of the funny things you say, you've posted some really funny things in the group lately, and you encouraged me to share. Yeah. So we should just share. I don't know if you're in the group, P Money or Niobe, but it's a very entertaining, active group. For example... Is this going to actually play? I don't know why
you keep calling him Niobe. His name's Larry.
Well, he goes by Rebel Gaming, Larry, and Niobe, so
yeah.
Excuse that. So which one do you prefer?
He got mad at me last time I called him Niobe. He said, my name is Larry. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
What is this that you posted, Mike? High, powerful... military.
That shit is what they're using against the federal troops in Portland. They're shining it into their eyes.
Are you serious? Whoa.
No, I just make shit up for a living. That's kind of what I do. I say shit that's not true. And I just hope people believe it.
You know, there are people that actually do that, so you wouldn't be
Yeah,
that
they're
far.
called Democrats. I'm not one of them.
Well said. Well said. So you just posted this. I haven't seen this at all. They're shining these in the Fed's eyes. That's terrible for somebody's eyes. A laser in their eyes.
You have no idea what it is either. It's not a laser like you would play with your dog. God dang it.
Oh my God, they're pointing that in people's eyes? Destroy someone's sight forever. And they're pointing that at cops, feds?
Yes.
That is messed up.
Yeah, it's not this. It's not like one that you would play with your dog with. This thing will set shit on fire.
Oh my God. But, you know, they have to be staring at it for, I guess, a few seconds at least for it to take effect. It's still, that would, you'd think it'd be immediately damaging.
0.5 of a second is enough to make someone blind for 3 days.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's a match. Oh. Can you see my screen, by the way? Okay. I don't even know what it looks like on the share screen thing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Why? That's just evil. Why would you want to inflict pain on people? That's not a freaking movement for a good cause.
Because their parents didn't love them enough.
Obviously, they are deranged individuals to want to do this to another human being. God, I hope karma bites them in the ass.
They should be summarily sought in the street. That's what should happen.
This is disgusting to think that someone would actually use this. High power, powerful, military burning 5-watt, 5,000 MW blue laser pointer pen gun. Okay. Ugh. It's like a lightsaber, though. I mean, if you imagine that the terrible things weren't happening, it's kind of cool. It's kind of futuristic. Why is it in a lightsaber? Can he cut things?
No.
Why did he do it that way? Just to be cool? Ow, 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 ow. It hurts my eyes. Ow. Oh, terrible. Antifa. This is what Antifa is using against the feds. Holy crap. That's disturbing. Oh, speaking of Antifa, here's another good one. Hold on. Let's rewind that. Watch them enjoy themselves in the beginning.
They get all excited. Oh. They're like,
yeah. Oh, wow. They seem pretty mad about that fire being put out.
Yeah, they were screaming and yelling about it. It was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I saw a really disturbing post. I think it's in here. We'll get to it. This was interesting. A Dunkin' employee was arrested after a police officer found spit in his coffee. So the police officer opened up his coffee lid, found a big old wok of mucus, nasty, snotty stuff, traced it to this guy, and he was arrested. Because that is a felony, actually, tampering with people's food.
Yeah, but when you do it to a cop, it's battery on a police officer.
Yeah, that's what he got charged with, right? And you said, what is wrong with these young, liberal, white, self-loathing millennials? Do you rich, fucktard parents neglect you? Did you? Oh, you poor thing. These people need to jump off a very, very tall bridge. Again, the terrible attitude towards cops. Cops are hired to protect people. This is just disgusting.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless you're a degenerate fast food worker that's failed at life and this is all you have left. And I mean, you know, your options are kind of limited from not graduating high school, you know, knocking up 3 girls in the process and flunking out of every school you've ever tried to apply to, then, you know, you might end up like this asshole.
You know, that's sad, but you just described people almost to a T of who I know. The knocked up 3 girls, I don't know, but knocked up at least 1 and followed exactly the same path. I do know those people.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's a motif for these people. That's what they do.
Yeah, he looks a little sad, down on his luck.
This is who they are.
Complete disrespect. And, you know, it's got to be part of the school system's problem because they obviously didn't learn respect all throughout high school either, not just in their household, but how can you grow up, work at a Dunkin' Donuts, and then spit in a cop's coffee? And he's white. He's white.
Yeah, you know, it's that white privilege stuff that they keep telling us.
Oh yeah. How much longer is this behavior going to go on before we start recognizing that cops are discriminated against? That's ridiculous. All right. A trooper based in Chicago bought a large black coffee on Thursday evening and removed the lid to cool it down when he discovered a, quote, large, thick piece of mucus, which was later confirmed to be saliva. Ew, gross. Okay. What is that? Related article, a man is shot after he tossed a dagger at a Detroit officer and injured him. Look at the blood. What the heck is going on? I didn't see this.
Hey, this is what happens when LARPing becomes a real thing. It's the same degenerate assholes. It's the same little worthless, trolly, degenerate liberal fucktards that are doing this. You've all met them. I know you've been at every single comic convention and seen them wandering around the con dressed up, in costumes, handling their preciouses. That's that dude's Precious.
No, you're right, though. That's, in fact, how exactly people describe War Campaign, which caused a lot of problems in Comicsgate. But it's beyond War Campaign.
This is how these people act. This is who they are.
Yeah, War Campaign is just a small portion of that larger population of people who do these things. And I want to see if I have any comments, because I think we probably do real quick. Oh, look, there's, hey, what's going on? Hello, people, hello. And that police officer left like RonoCop. That is disgusting. Yeah, these people hate America. I know. It's terrible. Mike is really good at finding these articles, too, and sharing them with us in our Facebook group. But speaking of LARPing, too, I talked to someone this week about LARPing. And I told him about my creepy story of the Renaissance Festival. And now I got to relay it so I don't sound like just a weirdo that told that one guy some weird story. He probably thinks I'm weird for having that story. But I said, I can't take LARPing seriously. And I'm sure he messaged me about Comicsgate or something. And I just said, I can't take LARPing seriously. And I said very briefly, in maybe like 3 sentences, described this crazy story of when I was about 16, 17, I worked at the Renaissance Festival. And some of those people that work at the Renaissance Festival don't ever go home from the Renaissance Festival. They actually live there, and they travel all over the country, and they LARP. They do this professionally, but also because they have nothing else. They talk in character, they act in character, they dress that way 24/7. They live in the past. And when the lights go out and everybody goes home and the show gets closed at 6, 7, 8 p.m. at the end of the day, they all go to drum circles and trip on acid and pot brownies and talk about how their family doesn't talk to them anymore because they disagreed with their perspective on life, and they just completely disown each other. This is a real thing. I've seen it.
So have I on Bar Rescue. Remember the pirate bar?
I remember it. Oh my God, please go watch that episode. That is the funniest. I wonder if I can find
There's got to be more to life than being a pirate.
Remember when they were mad at him and they're like,
it's like that dude, the character in Dodgeball who thinks he's a pirate. It's fucking fantastic.
But real life.
Yeah, but real life.
Oh.
Like that was him. That's how he acted.
Look, Pirates Tavern burned down after Bar Rescue. Oh, here we go. Yeah. There's a preview. See, this is real. This is real life. I don't want to get copyrighted for other people's videos, so I just gotta like show a tiny clip. I don't think I can show the whole clip. But there's the pirate bar. There's the pirates. These are real people. These LARP.
Are real people.
Yeah, let's find. Yep. And this guy was giving him attitude, like, how can you tell me this? And the Bar Rescue guy was like, well, I'm sorry. You're dressing like you're 3 years old. And so there's another guy. It's crazy to me. I mean, this was fun and all cool when you do it for fun. But I mean, like I said,
no, it's not.
It's scarred for some people.
Once you pass the age of, 8, it's probably not a good idea to dress up in character as someone else. I mean, just as a rule of thumb, which is also a very interesting term in and of itself.
Rule of thumb. I have some bad ideas about where that could come from.
It came from old English law. You were allowed to beat your wife with a stick as long as it wasn't thicker than your thumb.
Ah, okay. That's right. Check out this Iron Man suit, by the way. It's only $10,000. Yeah. Oh, wait, this is holding stuff by hand armor. Yeah, I would buy one too. I'm sad we didn't buy one. We could have been walking around like that all the time. I mean, I know we just said LARPing was for not cool people, but this is an exception. Because you're not LARPing in the past. Maybe we have to set a distinction here so we're not hypocrites. beyond before modern day, maybe living in the past, but in future
You know
has
what? You know
what?
what? If you have a couple of guns that you could integrate into that, it wouldn't be LARPing anymore.
It would be serious.
It would be Iron Man, the real game.
Yeah, this is a real suit.
Like you could take out Antifa with this. Like,
Yeah, and their stupid laser guns. They should build a laser into the mask, just like Cyclops, or what's his face for the X-Men. What's his name?
yeah, you got it.
Cyclops. Okay, or Superman. Ooh, I don't know what other people's posts are, but okay, this was another one. This is crazy to me. Do as they say. I'm so glad we didn't move to Minneapolis, because we liked Minneapolis. We were there just last year. Was it the year before? We were hanging out, the Mall of America. It's so beautiful up there. It's beautiful weather, lots of ranch properties, very rural, very beautiful homes. Reindeer. We saw reindeer walking freely.
Yeah, it was on one of the spots we were gonna live.
Yeah, and I'm glad we didn't, because Minneapolis is on fire right now, all the time. This is how it looks now, I guess. Do as they say. Minneapolis police tell residents to be prepared to give up personal belongings to robbers. We want those who live and work here to be safe. Oh, that's ironic. But okay, so the Minneapolis Police Department, offered prevention tips to residents, hoping to avoid being a victim of the skyrocketing cases of robbery and carjacking that have plagued the city since George Floyd's death in May. Robberies and carjacking have increased in our precinct. Cell phones, purses, and vehicles are being targeted. Some victims have been maced, dragged, assaulted, and some threatened with a gun. Most of these crimes have occurred north of the 42nd Street East 100 robberies, and 20 carjackings have been reported to 3rd Precinct Police in July alone. Downtown and southwest Minneapolis have seen an increase as well. We want those who live and work here to be safe, okay? But then here, Ian Michaels Chong says, Minneapolis is about to turn into the rape capital of the world. And he has highlighted here, be prepared to give up your cell phone and purse wallet. Later on, despite all of our efforts, robberies may still occur. This is the robbery prevention tips. Do not argue or fight with the criminal. Do as they say. Your safety is most important. Wow. Lock your doors while driving. Don't stop for strangers who are trying to approach you or stop your car. Is it really this bad that it's like driving through the Walking Dead scene there, where you have to drive around with your doors locked and not even, be aware of the people trying to wash your windows? You got to just drive away real quick. Parking.
Well, all cars as a security feature, made past 1999. The second you turn on the ignition, the doors lock anyway. So, I mean, it's not like you have to do anything extra.
Wow. Look, be a good witness. When you call 911, be prepared to answer many questions. How many suspects? Age, height, complexion, hair and eye color, scars or tattoos, weapon? What did it look like? What direction did they leave in? Vehicle description. Is it seriously this bad? That's crazy. Wow. Terrible. Look at that. A gas station, right by a gas station. You would think that thing would explode. A gas station. Although you said diesel isn't very flammable, actually.
Well, that's a gas station. That's not diesel.
Well, it says diesel right there.
Well, I'm sure
but
they
it
have
has
diesel
gas.
too.
Yeah, you're right, but it has gas. The gas is
all of
more
those,
flammable.
All of those stations, they come with an emergency shut-off switch. So the second that the attendant leaves, they hit that switch and it won't turn back on. You have to manually go back and turn it on. I mean, it's a process.
Well, that's good to know. What flag is he carrying right there?
That looks like a Mexican flag.
It does, doesn't it? Look like a Mexican flag. Why the hell is he carrying a flag? With a mask.
Maybe
with a mask.
Because he's Mexican.
Okay, but he's also concerned for his safety, of course, because he's wearing a COVID mask. You know, so be careful. Be
I
careful.
don't. I don't think they're concerned with their safety as much as they're concerned with concealing their identity because they're little bitches and they don't want to get caught.
Oh, that's a good point. Ooh, wow. Look at that. Ooh. Woo. White privilege. I don't even want to quote you.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
That's
you can
fantastic.
say it in your own words. I'll let you look at it, but hang on, I'm going to check on comics. Is it still going on? Forget about going to Minneapolis. I mean, once a year cosplaying at Comic-Con or horror conventions is pretty cool. Like I said, you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's fun for some people, Mike. I know you and I don't do it, but it's fun for some people. But there's a difference between it being fun for some people and living that life forever. Ooh, there we go. And some of these people, like at the
I'm still gonna have to be just the asshole that says, dude, if you're not a child, you shouldn't be dressing up like one. I mean, I just no.
What's your idea of
Sorry.
fun then? What's your idea of
Uh,
fun?
my idea of fun happens
Yes.
in the bedroom.
Oh gosh. I did not expect that
It's
answer.
not. Well, you asked. I mean, that's
Okay.
fun.
Yeah, that's
I
fun.
mean, yeah, I'm not gonna go dress up as Superman and get my jollies, from it. I mean, that's just weird to me. I mean,
Maybe some people get their jollies from being Superman, Dave.
which is fucking weird.
It might be cool for some people. And see, hey, it's just
I don't know.
hey, what's up? He says Antifa is LARPing. They're kids who never grew up playing dress up. They pretend they're heroes because in life they aren't shit. Hey, that's kind of an interesting take to think that maybe they really are just deprived of imagination and they think that they're being these crazy heroes. Because I mean, the school system, I believe, really doesn't do much for their imagination, and they grew up in it. This generation, everybody goes, "Oh, how could we raise a group of kids that are burning down cities?" Well, look at the school system. The school system sucks. It's completely humanistic, and it's terrible, and it deprives them of imagination, and it hits them with reality in a really weird, torturous way. Haven't worn a costume since I was in elementary school. I won't knock LARPers too hard, though. There's a lot of really nice people I've met at cons that wear costumes, but I haven't worn a
I
costume
think
in a
they're
long
weird.
time. Last time I was wearing a costume, actually, I was a pirate. I was in plays when I was younger, so we would dress up. I dressed up professionally, I will say, in princess costumes and cat costumes. I was like a cat, like the show Cats. And then I was a pirate at a Halloween party, and that was pretty much it. But I was a pirate. Let's share my screen again and look at these other things because you post so many good things, and not everybody is in our Facebook group. Don't agree with the asylum fee. I guess we no longer take broke people running for their lives. Ooh,
Yeah,
the
a lot
cost
of
of
people
becoming.
didn't agree with me on that post, but I mean, still, I think if you're seeking asylum and you come to this country and you actually need help and it's a valid asylum claim, that there shouldn't be a fee associated with the paperwork filing. Now, I mean, if the claim is determined to be fraudulent, I'm all about collecting fees for wasting the government's fucking time. I mean, we can have that discussion, but as of like trying, like say you have a bus full of 14-year-old girls that have been sex trafficked all over the Pan American states, and they by chance get helped in Miami, and they get taken off that bus. I don't think each one of those girls should have to pay a $50 fucking fee to get asylum. I just don't.
Do you think that it only applies to people 18 and over?
No, the way it's written, it's $50 fee no matter what. So I really don't agree with that aspect of it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some circumstances where, the person that needs the help might not have the money. And I don't think that there should be a fee for filing an asylum case. I just don't.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you there. What were you getting flack on? People thought it should
Well,
they
I
just
mean, if you
agreed with
read
it,
the
the $50?
comments, you can see the flag.
Well, I don't know if I should be reading people's comments on YouTube live stream. It is a private group, I think.
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
Mm-mm.
And Facebook has been weird about that. Yeah, it is a private group. Facebook just
Mm.
changed their whole things about private groups. So I mean, I don't really want to go around and
Well, you're
share
sitting
these
here.
comments.
You're sitting here scrolling through it. You can see the people
That's
in the
what I
group. I mean,
said. That's what I said to you last time. That's what I was trying to point out, but okay, well then we'll move on. Look, hey, locals, by the way. So this locals thing is cool. It's did I share the post here? Scott Adams is the creator of Dilbert. I don't know if you guys know him. If you're a conservative, you should probably follow him because I get the feeling that he's conservative too. I think I saw him on Fox News, and that's what really perked my interest here. He says he's lost 3 jobs for being white, which is interesting because it just shows you the dynamic that's happening in the world, that this is okay. If this really happened, which I'm sure it did, this is okay for them to discriminate against his race, but it's not okay for anybody else to discriminate against any other race. This weird white racism thing is happening because I mean, it's not like Dilbert is in charge of the KKK. It's Scott Adams. He's the creator of Dilbert. So it's unfair to me to see all this discrimination. It's just hateful against the cops, spitting in their drinks, attacking them with daggers, burning their eyes out with lasers. If anybody thinks this is okay, it's not okay. He says he's claiming he's a victim of racism. The Bay Area comic artist has taken to social media to say he's lost jobs. Yes, multiple jobs due to his skin color. I lost my TV show for being white when UPN decided it would focus on an African American audience. That was the 3rd job I lost for being white. The other 2 in corporate America, they told me directly. That's what's weird. They told him directly. And it'd be one thing if they wanted to switch the show. Hey, we want to focus on a different demographic. Okay, well, that sucks. But 3, that's a little bit much, I think. So he uses this platform, Locals, that I have made a Conservatives in the Arts profile for. I'm not signed in, so you can't see. But it's like a more localized social media platform where you can go meet up with people and say, "Hey, I'm in Brooklyn and New York. Anybody here around me?" And so there are people posting there on that in that community I've made. If people want to go check it out. Adams' comments about the show being a victim of racism was quickly mocked on Twitter, you see. And he said something which caught my eye down here, which I have put in my documentary I'm working on. I didn't even see this first comment. This is exactly what I'm touching on in my film. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine, which probably helps to keep you alive, but it also makes you programmable. If I fed you the same pattern often enough, it becomes a fact to you. CNN and Fox News feed their audiences different patterns. This is exactly what I've been saying for weeks. If you go back and read my Cure to Racism, I say the same thing. If you read neuroscience books, you find this. I'm willing to bet 90% of the protesters have seen Joker, the movie Joker. It is so powerful and well-made that it bounces around in your brain and burrows in, forming a dominant go-to pattern for your thinking. Can one movie nudge a young person into violence and anarchy? A bad movie can't. Even a good movie can't do that. But Joker can. That movie is next level persuasion-wise. And I have compared the films for Joker. Gosh, I don't want to get plagiarized, so let's just see. Joker movie trailer, if I can find a picture, because it looks exactly like the protest going on right now, ending, the very end, when he's in this weird euphoric state. And there's protesters all around him, and he's standing on top of a cop car, and this is it. And there's fire, It's not a very good shot. There's baseball bats. This is the ending of the Joker movie, and it just slowly pans out with this dramatic music where he's in front of all these protesters. There's something just very weird about that movie. Oops, now it's not going to work. So, anyways, let me go to this article. Oh, yes, this one. Moving on, though, unless you had any more comments about that. Let me stop sharing screen for a second because I didn't have the energy to read it all. I meant more so taking or making your own elaborate cosplay costumes. Oh, for Comic-Con or horror conventions is pretty cool. Of course, if you store buy your costumes, that's pretty lame. There are some awesome costume makers. There's this one reality TV show called the Jim Henson something, and that is really, really cool. They make their own costumes. Some of them they make cosplay costumes. I think that whole process is really fun. It's really creative, and they have to make the Jim Henson Muppets, and it's awesome. We never finished that episode. We watched one episode of it, and I really wanted to finish it and see who won. I am back. What have I missed? What did you miss, Niobe? The Joker movie being a brainwashing mechanism for protesting. It's not a bad movie, but it's so crazy. I could only watch The Joker once, and I'm subscribed to Scott Adams. Good. Mike, we couldn't even finish The Joker.
No, I thought it was a retarded movie.
Yeah, we stopped like 20 minutes in and killed it.
Yeah.
And then
not watching this. Trash.
It was trash. And I looked up the parents guide to see all the bad stuff in it. And he kills his mom with a pillow, choking her. You know, what's it called when you put the pillow on someone's face? Strangulating them? Suffocating them. Yeah. Who wants to watch that? That's just some messed up stuff. The funny thing is Democrats always say that the Joker rioters remind them of Trump supporters. That's weird.
No.
That's a weird, but you know what, Rams? Someone was dressed up as a Trump Joker at San Diego Comic-Con in 2016. I did a commission of them, so that is interesting. I don't know why. Suffocation. Yes. You guys got it.
We're going to have to buy Mindy a thesaurus for Christmas because she doesn't know words.
Oh, man. Oh, we haven't broken the alien news. Oh. Okay. Alien news time. Because we were talking about Baby Yoda and how he didn't look like the real alien. You know, the real alien kinds. That's what I said. I meant it. Because I believe in aliens. Do you believe in aliens? Who here believes in aliens? Conservatives in thearts.com. Oh, and the Vampirella thing happened too, where people were trashing conservatives in the fan group. There's so much that's happened over the past 2 weeks. But okay, let's go to this video. And by the way, does it see it? Yeah, it says it on here. Our video went viral of the UFO report. Dun, 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 dun. And it's Tucker Carlson. Wait, let me scoot back up.
No one can hear what it says.
Oh, weird.
It doesn't play audio.
It hasn't played audio this whole time. All right, well, I will just tell you what he says as I play it. This is a Fox News report. There are new findings tonight in the search for extraterrestrial life. The New York Times reported that a secret Pentagon unit, something about UFO sightings, is quite likely to replace those findings soon. And those findings could be stunning, particularly for people who have doubted the existence of aliens. They have picked up on classified hearings on UFOs for decades and knew very little about what they found, but apparently just recovered are off-world vehicles not made on this earth. That's a direct quote. We're not exactly sure what they mean by that, but some of it is self-evident, so it's a big story. We are scouring through the reporting on it right now. We'll bring you more right here tomorrow night. just recovered our off-world vehicles not made on this earth. Our post reached 34,409 people, 4,000 engagements, 233 shares, and I think it had 17,000 plays. Oh yeah, here, 17.9 thousand views on that video of ours on Facebook. Because wow, how often do you see that? That was some crazy news. That was almost worse than COVID news for a second there. Just recovered our off-world vehicles not made on this earth. Whoa. Yeah, so I hope you guys believe in aliens, because it kind of seems like they're about to show themselves. Some people were telling me that video was actually kind of old, but I
wish we could figure out how to make it play audio.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a fantastic video,
I think you have to unmute it.
This one, okay, can you hear it if I play it?
Try. Unmute it. Like, you gotta click the options to play sound. Not on the video, in your control panel.
All right, let me try StreamYard and figure that out.
Yes, you go to share screen, and then there's an option there to play audio.
Ah, because this video is definitely worth playing. This video is awesome. It doesn't have a settings here. Oh, share audio. I see it.
There you go.
We're going to try listening to this one really good video. Real quick, there's comments, though. I believe that I have a Vampirella cover, and she's an alien. I do not believe in aliens. Oh, yeah, it's a controversial topic. Baby Yoda is the man. Mike and I have watched a lot of Ancient Alien episodes, and we're kind of tainted. And he has seen a chupacabra. Before we get into anything else, Mike, please share with us. Are chupacabras real?
Yes.
Yes, he's seen one.
I've seen several.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Oh, we were out coyote hunting in West Texas, and yeah, I mean they're out there, dude, for real. It's not a joke. Like, we've shot at them,
and they look just like they did in that episode of Ancient Aliens, where they look like a dog, almost a coyote,
like a hairless fucking rat dog.
Like a hairless rat dog. I'm gonna try to pull it up.
Yep, and they laugh. They laugh, and they sound like fucking hyenas.
That's scary. Oh, okay, so this lady found, it wasn't on Ancient Aliens. It was on Unexplained with William Shatner.
Yeah.
Yes.
She found one, she got it, and she got it stuffed.
That is one. This is, why do you always lead me to YouTube videos? Okay, just look at the picture there. That is the picture of hers. If we can find the body of it stuffed, I think that's the body of it stuffed.
Yep, yeah, that's how they look.
And she had hit real. One. What is the chupacabra? Yeah, she said it took all these people, these taxidermy specialists, to come, and they had to fill it with part wolf, part coyote, part dog, part this, part that, and it's actually really big and really skinny, really tall. It's not the size of a medium-sized dog. It's the size of a large dog. Ooh, scary. But yeah, those things are real. That must be it right there too, what she found. Maybe. That looks like a different one. But yeah, so there's that. Can you hear my audio now if I play this?
Nope.
Darn it. You guys got to watch this video. He's so funny. No, this isn't the Fauci video. This is where this guy says Democrats must change name.
You really need to figure out how to share the audio. I mean, you do it with the intro video every time we start.
It's inside a StreamYard when I do the intro video. I don't know how to do it in another window.
All you have to do is link that video in as an object. Go to embed code.
I don't think I know how to do that. It doesn't give a video an embed. But here, I'll just post a link to it for people that want to check it out later, because this was fascinating. Oh, that's chat privately. Here you go. Post a comment. This is a really good video you guys should check out. We're just going through all the videos and stuff that have happened this week to catch up on everything. People have been using the fear of the unknown to control the masses for the entire history of the world. Oh, that's a very, very good points. Yes. Time out. Why do you hunt coyote, Mike?
Because they're fucking varmints.
Well, we're talking about Texas.
They're menaces. I mean, you don't need a license or anything. You can just kill them because, I mean, it's like what do you call it? An invasive species. They're a menace. They're all over.
I didn't know that. Don't
Hang on,
forget.
I'm trying to look up how to play the video in StreamYard.
Okay, I'll read comments while you do that. Don't forget about that. Los Angeles prison is forcing male teenagers to take estrogen injections, or else they'll receive longer jail sentences. Wow, it was in the news 3 weeks ago. Not sure you read about it. Rams, you told me about that, but it's been so busy. I haven't looked it up. But that's really kind of gross and weird. And, as soon as you're in jail, though, or prison, you don't have any rights. Same with being in the military. You pretty much give it all up. So they could force you to, which is kind of sick, isn't it? That's why I believe in small government. Small government believer. Chupacabras are real, but they are just mangy dogs with a thin hair condition. That could be, but we have seen it. Go help out your wife, Mike. I'm terrible at technology. If he comes in here, the thing is, it'll give a big echo if we're near each other. So we got to stay in separate rooms. But he's just right over there. But this one representative, Louis Gohmert, Democrats must change name or be barred from House due to racist past, was a really good video. In fact, it has 48,000 videos. And he delivered remarks here on the House floor regarding his privileged resolution, which calls on Congress to ban any political organization or party that has ever held a public position supporting slavery or the Confederate States of America. That's really strong and very interesting because Woodrow Wilson, I've done my research a bit on Woodrow Wilson, who I watched this historian on YouTube, and he hates Woodrow Wilson. He has all this Woodrow Wilson merchandise of him being evil with red eyes.
Hang on. It says you must click the share audio button, then click share, and your screen will be added to your show. So you share audio first, then you click share screen, and then it works.
Okay, that's pretty much what I tried last time. Let's try it again.
It says click the share screen button in the toolbar.
Okay, I already did that.
Check the box to share the computer sound at the bottom of the share screen pop-up window. Make sure your volume is at an appropriate level, and hit play.
Okay, see if you can hear this, because I did that. Ow.
I can now.
Okay.
So well, you did it right, finally.
I did it that way the last time. But I didn't do share audio first. I did share audio second. But it's the same window. Okay, so we're going to listen to it. It's 8 minutes long. I don't know if you guys want to sit for 8 minutes.
Yes, all 8 minutes. Every last really, 8-minute episode. Yes, every second of this.
Okay, it's really good. This one and the Dr. Fauci one is really good. Okay, here we go.
Madam Speaker, pursuant to Clause A1 of Rule 9, I rise to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of my resolution is as follows.
Under Rule, the gentleman will proceed.
Okay. Raising a question of the privileges of the House, whereas on July 22nd, 2020, House Resolution 7573 was brought to the House floor for a vote with the purpose of eliminating four specific statues or busts from the United States Capitol, along with all others that include individuals who, quote, served as an officer or voluntarily with the Confederate States of America or the military forces or government of a state while the state was in rebellion against the United States, unquote, yet failed to address the most ever-present historical stigma of the United States Capitol. That is the source that so fervently supported, condoned, and fought for slavery, that was left untouched, but without whom the evil of slavery could never have continued as it did, to such extreme that it is necessary to address here in order for the U.S. House of Representatives to avoid degradation of historical fact and blatant hypocrisy for generations to come. Whereas the Democratic Party platform of 1840, 1844, 1848, 1852, and 1856 states, quote, that Congress has no power under the Constitution to interfere with or control the domestic institutions of the several states, and that such states are the sole and proper judges of everything appertaining to their own affairs, not prohibited by the Constitution, that all efforts of the abolitionists or others made to induce Congress to interfere with questions of slavery are calculated to lead to the most alarming and dangerous consequences, and that all such efforts have an inevitable tendency to diminish the happiness of the people and endanger the stability and permanency of the Union, and ought not to be countenanced by any friend of our political institutions, unquote. Again, from the Democratic Party platform of those years. Whereas the Democratic Party platform of 1856 further declares that new states to the Union should be admitted, quote, with or without domestic slavery, as the state may elect, unquote. Whereas the Democratic Party platform of 1856 also resolves that, quote, we recognize the right of the people of all the territories to form a constitution with or without domestic slavery, whereas the Fugitive Slave Law of 1850 penalized officials who did not arrest an alleged runaway slave and made them liable for a fine of $1,000, which is about $28,000 in present day value. Law enforcement officials everywhere were required to arrest people suspected of being a runaway slave on as little as a claimant's sworn testimony of ownership. The Democratic Party platform of 1860, directly in seeking to uphold the Fugitive Slave Act, states that, quote, the enactments of the state legislatures to defeat the faithful execution of the Fugitive Slave Law are hostile in character, subversive of the Constitution, revolutionary in their effect, unquote. The Democratic Party platform again. Whereas the 14th Amendment, giving full citizenship to freed slaves, passed in 1868 with 94% Republican support, 0% Democratic support in Congress. The 15th Amendment, giving freed slaves the right to vote, passed in 1870 with 100% Republican support and 0% Democratic support in Congress. Whereas Democrats systematically suppressed African Americans' right to vote by the example in the 1902 Constitution of the state of Virginia, actually disenfranchised about 90% of the black men who still voted at the beginning of the 20th century, and nearly half of the white men, so they suppressed Republican voters as well. The number of eligible African-American voters were thereby forcibly reduced from about 147,000 in 1901 to about 10,000 by 1905. That measure
that's weird.
Almost exclusively by Virginia Democrats.
Oh, you don't say Democrats, huh?
It was engineered by Carter Glass, the future Democratic U.S. Representative, Senator, and Secretary of Treasury under Democrat President Woodrow Wilson, who proclaimed the goal of the Constitutional Convention as follows, quote, this Democrat exclaimed, quote, discrimination. Why, this is precisely what we propose. That's exactly what this convention was elected for, to discriminate to the very extremity of permissible action under the limits of the federal Constitution with a view toward elimination of every, and I won't use his word, but African-American voter who can be gotten
Yeah,
rid
because you can't use Negroes.
said by a Democrat and applauded by his fellow Democrats. Whereas in 1912, Democratic President Woodrow Wilson began a racial segregation policy for U.S. government employees. And by 1914, the Wilson administration civil service instituted the requirement a photograph be submitted with each employment application. And whereas the 1924 Democratic National Convention convened in New York City at Madison Square Garden, the convention commonly was known as the Klan Bake due to the overwhelming influence of the Ku Klux Klan in the Democratic Party. And whereas
I bet that was Jim Crow, wasn't it?
The Democratic Party led a 75
Robert Byrd
filibuster against the 1964 Civil Rights Act, whereas leading the Democrats in their opposition to civil rights.
Oh yeah, that was Joe Biden's father.
The Democratic Party.
That was Joe Biden's father. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Senator Robert Byrd from West Virginia, who was a known recruiter for the Ku Klux Klan. Whereas Democrats enacted and enforced Jim Crow laws and civil codes that forced segregation, restricted freedoms of Black Americans in the United States. Whereas on June 18, 2020, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi ordered the removal from the Capitol portraits of 4 previous speakers of the House who served in the Confederacy, saying that these portraits, quote, set back our nation's work to confront and combat bigotry, unquote. The men depicted in the portraits were Democrat Robert M.T. Hunter, Democrat Howell Cobb, Democrat James L. Orr, and Democrat Charles F. Crisp. Resolved that the Speaker of the House of Representatives shall remove any item that names, symbolizes, or mentions any political organization or party that has ever held a public position that supported slavery or the Confederacy from any area within the House wing of the Capitol or any House office building, and shall donate such item or symbol to the Library of Congress. And 2, that any political organization or party that has ever held a public position that supported slavery or the Confederacy shall either change its name or be barred from participation in the House of Representatives. With that, I would yield back.
Wow.
So basically what he's saying is now the Democrat Party needs to change its name because according to that resolution, they're in violation of a House ordinance.
Very interesting, isn't that? That is interesting. And the Woodrow Wilson thing, I didn't finish that, but yeah, before that, white people, Black people were working equally just fine. And he got into office, and he's known by some historians as the worst historian that ever lived. He got all of his history wrong. He went to a university. Nobody liked him there. He took everything pretty much by force. Then when he was president, he reinstated all these segregation laws. He demoted all the Black people. And like you heard, he required a photograph to be submitted with your resume. So if you submit photographs with your resume, that's where that rule comes from, that tradition, is that discrimination. So it wasn't the founding fathers in that sense. If you go all the way back, they had fixed that. But Woodrow Wilson, very, very highly in favor of Democrats and the KKK, Woodrow Wilson came in and screwed it all up again. And there was this whole controversy where the KKK released some film, like motion picture film, where they were being glorified or something like that. And he went to the film, he went to the premiere, and he was very in favor of it. I mean, this dude was straight up racist and Democrat.
Oh yeah, play the Fauci video. The Fauci video is good too.
Fauci video. Okay, what's up, Timothy Nagin? Wait a minute. According to Phil Murphy, I'm a Democrat. I believe it's time for me to change my name, my full name. Oh, Timothy Olsen said his campaign is at 551. Good. Timothy, feel free to post a link. Also, I'm going to change campaigns. Wow. Can I get a raise the roof? Sorry, this rep gets your Nagin privileges. Nagin privileges, It's a bit late and a hollow gesture if he's asking for a name change.
Just wait till you see what Jim Jordan does to Mr. Fauci.
Yeah, where do we find that? But first I want to read this comment because it's a good point. It's a bit late and a hollow gesture if all he's asking for is a name change. It's the equivalent of tearing down statues. They'd still be Democrats, but could more easily deflect from their past. Yeah, manipulators gonna be manipulators, Democrats. But at the same time, the way that they're playing it now, they're just pretending that they're not. They didn't have that past at all. So I do kind of like that he's bringing attention to it. If you Google KKK and you go to the Wikipedia article, it says it's a far right group. And which is weird because I Googled it in 2017 and it was right there on Google that it was a left group. So between then and now, the definition has changed. It's become a far right group. And I wish I had a screenshot of it because I might have taken one back in 2017, might have. But I know for sure I looked it up because I was arguing with someone about it. And I said, look, screenshot, Google it. It's not a right-wing group. But now on Google, it is. It's a far right group, even though KKK is just all Democrat, founded by Democrats, pushed by Democrats, loved by Democrats. So at least somebody says something. I mean, at some point, do you just be silent forever? You know, I don't know. It's a good point that it is a bit late. I think conservatives should have stood up against this crap a long time ago, but conservatives tend to be more complacent, tolerant, patient, happy people that don't throw fits. So no surprise that the people who throw the fits are the loudest. I got to find that Fauci video because that was just
I just posted
so
it for you again. It's at the top of the group.
Okay. Ooh, this is a funny one too where she's... Okay, hang on. I got to post this one too. I hope that we can get away with showing these videos. I don't know if we can.
Yeah, you can.
It's on YouTube already. This one was so funny too. The girl. I got to play just like 2 seconds of that.
Not leave the house for any reason. Yeah, I really am following the same rules right now. They're very clear. So let's take a minute and let's go over them again. First, you must not leave the house for any reason, unless of course you have a reason, and then you may leave the house. All stores are closed except those that are open. And all stores must close unless, of course, they need to stay open. This virus is deadly, but don't be afraid of it. It can only kill people who are vulnerable and also those who are not vulnerable. We should stay locked down until the virus stops infecting people. And it will only stop infecting people if enough of us get infected that we build immunity. So it is very important that we get infected and also do not get infected. You should not go to the doctor's office or the hospital unless you have to go there. Unless, of course, you are too sick to go there. This virus has no effect on children except for those children in which it affects. The virus remains active on different surfaces for 2 hours or 4 hours or 6 hours. But in most cases, it's days and not hours, and it needs a damp environment or a cold environment that is warm and dry in the air. Unless the air is plastic. Schools are closed, so you need to homeschool your children unless you can send them to school because you are not home. If you are at home, you can school your children using various portals and online classrooms unless you have poor internet, more than one child, only one computer, or you are working from home. Baking cakes can be considered math, science, or art. If you are home educating, you can include household chores within their education curriculum. And if you are home educating, you may start drinking at approximately 10 a.m. every day. If you are not home educating children, you may also start drinking at approximately 10 a.m. Masks are useless at protecting you against the virus, but you still need to wear one because it can save lives. And in some cases, it may even be mandatory, but also maybe not. You must not go to work, but you can get another job, at which point you may go to work. Stay home. I don't know how much we need to tell you how important it is to go outside and take care of your mental health. There is no shortage of groceries in the supermarket. There are simply many things missing. You don't need to go buy a bunch of paper, but should buy some in case you need it. If you are sick, you may go out once you are better, but those in your household, they cannot go out once you are better unless, of course, they need to go out. Animals are...
Okay, that's really funny. That's what the news sounds like. It seriously does all the time. It's just a complete hypocritical mess. My mind just melted. It goes on further. Okay, get you the link to this one. It's on the Conservatives in the Arts page. See, there's the Facebook page, but funny. There's some funny stuff. There's that other video too.
Play the Fauci one.
Everything. Okay, let me get the link for this person. It continues on more. Oh. How do I get the link to this? Share. It's being stupid. Oh,
The computer is only as smart as the person using it.
No, I swear to God, it's the computer. It's not me. I don't know. It doesn't have a link. It just go to the Conservatives in the Arts Facebook page and scroll down, and it's there. All right, now I'll go to the Fauci. God, this Fauci one was mind blowing, and it's so obvious. He's
Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan whooped this guy's ass. He exposed Fauci for the liberal he was.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And the whole time, Fauci's given the Democrats a tongue bath.
And, you know, I liked Dr. Fauci when I first saw him when the first breakout of COVID. I thought, oh, that seems kind of nice. But everyone I always think is nice always turns out to be a jerk. That's just how the world works. I want to think that everybody's good in the world and just give everybody a pass. And it never, ever, 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 ever works out that way. Here we go. I did not know Mike was good at throwing shade. Oh, he is. No logic on the left. Isn't that the truth? It's funny, but it's sad because it's so close to reality. It's barely satire or parody. I know it's funny, but it's also sad. Even just Fauci was saying, I saw a video of him saying that you don't need to wear a mask. And now he's all mask crazy doing interviews with Zuckerberg. Okay, let me find this video for you. Share audio. Got it. Screen. Got it. There you go, baby. I did it. Okay, this is hilarious.
The chair now recognizes for 5 minutes Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Fauci, do protests increase the spread of the virus?
Do protests increase the spread of the virus?
Let me repeat it back to you because I'm not sure I understood that question. You know, I only have a fucking PhD.
Make a general.
Well, 500,000 protesters on June 6th alone.
Yeah.
I'm just asking that number of people, does it increase the spread of the virus?
Crowding together, particularly when you're not wearing a mask,
All
contributes
right, pause it.
to the virus.
Should we limit the protest?
Crowding.
Half a million people. Does this equal a fucking crowd, you PhD twat? Hit play. 500,000 people. Is this a crowd?
Contributes to the spread of the virus.
Should we limit the protesting?
I'm not sure what you mean. How do we say limit the protesting?
Should government limit protesting?
I have a PhD, but I don't know what you're talking about. Let me repeat that question back to you again. You asked me, let me make sure I understand the words that we have all agreed to use on this fucking planet in the English language. Should we limit the protesting? Play it.
He doesn't understand that question. He doesn't understand the question. Sorry, Mike. Here we go.
I don't think that's relevant to.
Well, you just said if it increases the spread of the virus, I'm just asking, should we limit it?
Well, I'm not in a position to determine what the government can do in a forceful way.
Well, you make all kinds of recommendations. You,
No.
you make comments on dating, on baseball, and everything
No.
you can imagine. I'm just asking, you just said it
Pause it.
increase the spread.
He makes
You
comments
try to limit the
on whether or not you can meet on Grindr with somebody. That's okay. We can talk about that. We can talk about whether or not we should go play baseball today. We can go talk about whether or not you can go to church. That's fine. I can tell you to shut all the churches down. And you can talk all day about all this stuff, but you can't talk about limiting crowds of 500,000 people. That's not relevant.
Jim
All right,
Jordan
play it.
does a good job at pointing that out about the churches. It's coming. He's about to get his. I'll back up a little bit there.
Protests increase the spread. I'm just asking you, should we try to limit the protest?
No, I think I would leave that to people who have more of a position to do that. I can tell you.
Government
that-
stopping people from going to church, Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
Last week in the Calvary Chapel case, 5 liberals on the Supreme Court said it was over to churches. I mean, Justice Gorsuch said it best. He said, there's no world in which the Constitution permits Nevada to favor Caesar's Palace over Calvary Chapel. I'm just asking, is there a world where the Constitution says you can favor one First Amendment liberty, protesting, over another, practicing your faith?
I'm not favoring anybody over anybody. I'm just making a statement that's a broad statement that avoid crowds of any type, no matter where you are, because that leads to the acquisition and transmission. And I don't judge one crowd versus another crowd. When you're in a crowd, particularly if you're not wearing a mask, that induces the spread.
It's a simple question, doctor. Should we limit the protest? Government is obviously limiting people going to church. And look, there's been no violence that I can see at church. I haven't seen people during a church service go out and harm police officers or burn buildings. But we know that, I mean, for 63 days, 9 weeks, it's been happening in Portland.
Right. Yeah.
Well, one night in Chicago, 49 officers were injured. But no limit to
Oh,
no limit.
Oh, look, he scoffs. He scoffs and laughs when he hears that 49 officers were injured. Look at that.
Yeah.
He
I want to go back
scoffs and laughs when he hears that 49 officers have been injured.
All right, I backed up.
What if there was 49 twat doctors who supposedly had a PhD that were injured?
All right, we're watching.
Can't go to church on Sunday.
What was the?
I don't know how many times I can answer that. I'm not going to opine on limiting anything. I'm just going to tell you.
You've opined on a lot of things, Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, but I've never
This
said
is something that directly impacts the spread of the virus, and I'm asking your position on the protest.
Yeah, I'm not going to opine on limiting anything. I'm telling you what it is, the danger. And you can make your own conclusion about that. You should stay away from crowds, no matter where the crowds are.
Government has stopped people from going to work. In fact, just in New Jersey 4 days ago, Ian Smith, Frank Trombetta were arrested for trying to operate their business, their gym. They were arrested. But my bet is if these two individuals own this gym were outside just in front of their gym, and all the people who were working out in their gym were outside protesting, they'd been just fine. But because they were in the gym working out, actually running their business, they got arrested. You think that's okay?
You know, I'm not going to opine on who gets arrested and who does not. I mean, you get where I'm going. I'm telling you, as a public health official, I say crowds.
Do you see the inconsistency, though, Dr. Fauci?
There's no inconsistency, Congressman.
There's no inconsistency. You're allowed to protest, millions of people on one day in crowds yelling, screaming, but you try to run your business to get arrested. And if you stood right outside of that same business and protested, you wouldn't get arrested. You don't see an inconsistency there?
I don't understand what you're asking me as a public health official to opine on who should get arrested or not. That's not my position. You could ask
you've advocated for certain businesses. You've advocated for certain businesses to be shut down. I'm just asking you on your position on the protest. I haven't seen one. We've heard a lot about hair salons. I haven't seen one hairstylist who between haircuts goes out and attacks police or sets something on fire. But we've seen all kinds of that stuff during protests. And we know the protests actually increase the spread of the virus. You've said that.
I said crowds. I didn't say specifically. I didn't say protests do anything.
So the protests don't increase the spread of the virus?
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth.
No, I just want an answer to the question. Do the protests increase the spread of the virus?
I don't have any scientific evidence that anything. I can tell you that crowds are known, particularly when you don't have a
Right there, pause it.
Increase the.
Wow.
I think that right there is the very first honest moment Dr. Fauci has ever had when he said, I don't have any scientific evidence for anything.
I
think that's the first time. I think that's the first time this motherfucker's been honest.
He's smiling too. He's been smiling almost this whole time.
He openly admitted under oath of perjury that he doesn't have any scientific evidence of anything.
That's a very good point. And to him, apparently, the word crowd is not synonymous with millions of people. That must be
he's under oath. He's under oath. He admitted he doesn't have any scientific evidence of anything. And this guy's a PhD. This is who we're listening to. This is who people have elected as their God and Savior during this coronavirus. This is the guy who has no scientific evidence of anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Play it.
Yep.
Acquisition and to increase the acquisition and transmission. No matter what.
So you don't have a position on whether the protests increase the spread of the virus or don't increase the spread of the virus?
I'm saying that crowds, wherever the crowds are, can give you an increased probability that there's going to be acquisition and transmission.
But do you understand Americans' concern? Protesting, particularly according to the Democrats, is just fine, but you can't go to work, you can't go to school, you can't go to church. There's limits placed on all three of those fundamental activities, First Amendment activities, but protesting is just fine.
The gentleman's time has expired, but I'll just ask the
gentleman pause it.
This question.
He's laughing. I think they do ask him one more time. What do you have to say?
No, they don't. That's the end of it.
Wow. Okay, Dr. Fauci. He has no evidence of anything. Okay.
No, he has no scientific evidence of anything.
Is Fauci of Italian descent? I don't know, but he sure does work out a lot. They've been posting he's post videos of himself, I guess, working out all the time. Niceness is a mask. Oh, very good point. It is. And I go through little phases where I get tough, and then sometimes I'll be able to shut people down if they take advantage of me. But then other times I have to watch myself because I can be too nice. In fact, we should tell them about the Just Because discount where I equated myself to a sausage biscuit. When it comes to covers and stuff, someone was like, hey, well, can we make a deal if I get 2 covers? This happened recently, and I was like, sure, that's fine. We'll do this. We'll do like $400 off or whatever it was. And Mike, this is something you shouldn't do. Don't follow my example. Don't give offers because really there's no reason to. You see this all the time as an artist, all the time in graphic design, where people want this like just because discount, where they want a discount just because. And Mike came home when he heard that I did that. He's like, Mindy, you shouldn't. It's 2. It's 2. What other deals in life do they give you a discount if you buy 2? If you go to Walmart and you buy 1 Coke and they ring it up and you say, what if I buy 2? Well, they don't give you a discount on 2. And we were started going down the list. Well, what if you buy a Coke? What if you buy a hot dog? What if you buy a car? What if you buy a house? And he's like, no. And we take that number and define the amount of what it would cost for 2 of those. Well, you take that number again, and then you add those numbers, and that's what you should charge for 2 things. And he's like, the only other people that do that is McDonald's. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I said, yeah, you mean, hell, you've made yourself the McDonald's of comic book art.
Thank you.
I said, you go to McDonald's and you can get 2 sausage McMuffins for $4.
They do a deal. They run a 2 for something special.
Yeah, 2 for $4. That's it. That's the only place. Unless you go, Subway, I think, does the 2 for $6 or the 2 for $5 or whatever it used to be. But
so
yeah.
So what you find in fast food,
you can't just go up to somebody and say, hey, what if I buy 2 up front?
Cash now, right now, cash up front.
Cash now. I got some cash in my pocket. What if I buy 2?
What if I buy 2? What if I buy 2? Hey, you got that? You got that thing for what if I buy two? You go to a yard sale. What if I buy two? Yeah, it's like the only thing that does it is fast food. So artists should probably not do this. This deal hasn't gone through yet, anyways. But yeah, you know, I have a tendency to be too nice. Apparently,
Don't
in
do
Louisville,
that stupid shit.
I know you just got to handle all the money. I'm just gonna tell everybody to talk to you. It's so much easier that way. You have my best interests at heart, anyways. My sweet husband. Apparently in Louisville, BLM is using mafia tactics in which businesses must have BLM support signs.
Yep,
Oh
I saw
my
that.
God. I knew it. I knew it. Donate to BLM and given
No,
discount.
what they're doing is they're going in and they have a list of, I think, 9 demands to these small businesses. Like they have to have 20% black employment. They have to have a management staff that is at least 20% black. They have to have racial sensitivity training in place and set up. I mean, there's this huge list. There's like 9 things. I can't remember exactly which each one of the 9 things are. And then on top of that, they said that there's going to be penalties for people that refuse to comply with this. And one of the penalties include having people set up in front of your store in protest. Another one of the penalties is having people set up with tables in front of your business offering similar products from black businesses. Another one of the caveats is you can pay 8% of your gross sales, I believe, in reparations towards a black charity of their choosing. And also in perpetuity, one of the 9 demands I do remember is 1% of the gross revenue has to also go to one of these black charities of their choosing. And I think a lot of these places that are going to be hit by this or approached by this, they actually have a very credible case to prosecute these guys under RICO statutes. This is kind of what the mafia did in Chicago back in the 40s. And that's how the FBI got all these mobsters, was on these RICO statutes. RICO's a very complex thing. You don't want to fuck with it because it'll put you in jail for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, I don't see how any of that is legal. That's sickening. That's not even funny. I can't even to that. That's just gross.
But yes, I am very well informed. So, I mean, there's nothing that gets by me in the news that I don't know about. I promise you.
Wow. I was joking like a few weeks ago with someone saying it's going to be Stalin at the ballot box, you know? And I believe we said that in our first few videos. And now it's just every single day. The Constitution isn't conditional. We can't stop people from protesting as long as it's peaceful. The Constitution guarantees our right to peacefully assemble. That's correct. His answers display hypocrisy and bias. We should be allowed to do it all. Yeah, closing down the churches was really, really crazy to me. This should have been stopped a long time ago. Why is it still going on? Why is it still going on? You should see that interview with Tucker Carlson about the 2 gym owners in Jersey. That would be interesting.
That's who Jim Jordan is talking about getting arrested. Those 2 guys were arrested.
Yeah, I know. And that was interesting. It was funny that how you said, well, but if they were just standing outside the gym, they'd be fine, right? I probably should be using my personal account to hang out with you 2 crazy right-wing angry people. That rhymes with banshee.
What rhymes with banshee? I really want to know. That rhymes
with banshee. I don't know, but are we right-wingers? We consider ourselves right-wing. I know I say right-leaning, but right-wing. What about the whole wing thing? Can you explain that to me, Mike, or someone explain to me? Would we be right-wing?
A wing is fairly large and encompassing, so I think it encompasses everyone from middle center to the right.
Yes, I think so. The answer is if you are a Democrat, you get a COVID-19 pass card. I think people sometimes call me right-wing, and so I think that's fair if it is encompassing. Indie artist fast food art and professional artists are legit restaurant action. Interesting. They're all talking about sausage biscuits. BLM are the mafia. They are. I say, hold on, let me get my gun. That sounds like race-based discrimination to me. Isn't that illegal? So BLM can get in trouble with Mike. I don't see how that would be legal of them sitting in front of the store. I mean, isn't there a like coercion?
No, I mean it's
organized crime.
Them being out in front of the store is not illegal. Them being on someone's property if they're asked to leave, that becomes illegal.
Well, what about
But
them?
I mean, if they have a permit to be there, which they can apply for the city and get one, I mean that's one thing. But the whole thing that they can get in trouble for is demanding money.
That's the part
in
that's weird.
Recompense of a harmful action. Okay. That's where they can get into trouble, because it's just like, when the mob went around to businesses and they demanded protection money. You cannot do that. When you assign a monetary value with an implied threat, that becomes RICO if it comes from an organization consisting of 2 or more people. If 2 or more people in an organization commit a crime, that becomes RICO statute. So if I was to go up and demand money, protection money from a business, I couldn't get prosecuted for RICO if it was just me personally. Now, if it's an organization and I give it a name, such as Black Lives Matter, and it's me and I go up and I demand money, and then someone different comes up and demands the same thing, that's 2 or more people within an organization committing a crime. Okay? That is where RICO can come in.
It's organized crime.
There you go.
And it's kind of like what Antifa was doing in the whole protection money thing. And they are also a group. So at this point, they're just either stupid or they don't care by assigning all of this to groups.
Well, see, that's how Trump was able to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization, is because 2 or more members of that group have committed crimes.
Oh, well, geez, so you could apply the same thing to Comicsgate. There are people in Comicsgate that are in the court system for online harassment. So basically that whole group could be. And
yes, and I mean, it might be coming.
Well, good thing I'm not Comicsgate.
RICO is broad and encompassing. I mean, if you commit a crime and you're in a group, a titled group, you can be prosecuted under RICO. And the RICO statutes are the timetables in terms of imprisonment and fines and monetary recompense and everything are triple that as what it would be if you did it individually. Like you can go to jail for life. But it's 25 to life for RICO statute violations.
And it's amazing how the rioters were just getting their out of jail free card, and even the celebrities were endorsing these people. And I mean, it's just, but you have to wonder, is there going to be something corrupt about this that takes over? And if that lets this slide, and if it does, have we had enough yet? Have we had enough of it? Yeah, we're just going to sit here and just watch it happen. I'm getting really tired of it. I mean, there's nothing much I can do with my big old guns and all, but I mean, I've got Mike. Everyone who is against shutdowns, masks. Mike and Mindy against the world. Everyone who is against shutdowns and mask policies, and that would be us. It's just, I don't know if I should use your real name. You told me your real name, but I just use your username because it's live video. But I don't approve of the shutdowns or the masks. And lately I've gone into a store or two without my mask, not meaning to, and nobody said anything. Went through the whole store, checked out. People should open carry everywhere they go who are against those policies. Who's going to order you to put a mask on when you have a gun strapped across your back? Well, let's just hope BLM goes forward with their plans. It should be the beginning of the end of their organization, and it better be. Stupidity, I've noticed, always shoots itself in the foot. It takes time for the good guys to win. It's always like there's this playing field. And the bad guys always seem to be louder and win in the beginning, and then they shoot themselves in the foot with their stupidity every single time, and then the good guys always win. That's just how life works most of the time. I've noticed. Comicsgate did it. Everybody did it. Their bad intentions cloud their judgment, and they do bad things, and then they get in trouble. So, speaking of masks, we need to start making ours, Mike. So we set up our heat presses and stuff so we can actually make custom masks now and t-shirts. And there's a design Mike already gave me to work on tonight, but I have been busy today doing comic shop windows for people and covers and pages and thumbnails. So I'm burnt out. But hopefully let's try to get something up next week, Mike. Like, let's promo a mask, a custom made mask. What do you guys think it should say? If you had to put something on a mask, what would you put on there? Just because you had to wear it. Is everywhere around here now is requiring masks. Mike and I were going to open up a storefront. We set it on the streams for a print shop.
It puts the mask on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Hey, that's good. That's good. T-shirts. Woo! Oh, I'd be down for a t-shirt or mask. Yeah, Mike is really clever with thinking of these cool ideas for t-shirts. He's thought of a BLM one. I know we thought of masked ones. I don't know if we wrote them down, but that's kind of the thing that Mike and I do. We think of things and then we do things.
Hey, what you should do is put one of those like dominatrix red ball things on the mask, so it looks like you're biting on a red ball.
Like a bondage thing?
Yeah, that would be fantastic. We need one of those.
I could not wear that. Oh, it'd be so weird seeing the people that did. I've seen people wearing masks that read, "This mask doesn't work." That's good. Fauci said you shouldn't wear a mask. March and the date, which he did. There's so many good ones. Or the bondage zipper on the mask, like it closing the mask. You guys are creepy. I don't really like creepy things. Or bondage. No, that's neither of those things work. But that's a funny idea, Mike.
Yeah.
Who in the hell would wear that? You gotta be wondering who's gonna walk up to you and be like, "I have 3 of those." What if I buy 2?
Or hey, have the ball right in the mouth, and then on the ball have the writing, "The struggle is real."
Well,
I kill me.
you kill you. We should definitely try to get one up.
Because he's a dominatrix and the struggle is real. It's fantastic.
You think of so many things. Oh, so we're working on a website too. I won't give you the address, but an alternative to Kickstarter and Indiegogo, we're doing a crowdfunding thing. Because if you go to Kickstarter.com, if you haven't noticed, it's all Black Lives Matter. So they're probably giving a percentage to Black Lives Matter. They have the hashtag right on the top. And the last time I looked, just a few days ago, the whole front page is Black Lives Matter. And it's like crowdfunding a signage for riots and protesting. They're making all of these things like as if cosplayers, had held a convention and there were costume makers in the front lines.
Hey, quick question.
Yes.
If you're crowdfunding for a bunch of black people,
yes,
who collects all the food stamps?
That's a terrible joke. But I gotta laugh it off because we need humor.
It's funny.
Don't you miss the days when people could joke, like Chris Rock and all of his funny skits? And now you can't even find good comedy anymore. Even white people jokes are funny. I really think people should acknowledge race more in a positive way. That like, hey, you're white, you're black, you're whatever, and then just like get over it and make jokes and have a good time. Instead of either pretending that You could be gender fluid, racial fluid, and identify with anything in complete denial or looking at it as a problem. People should laugh. I used to crack white jokes at Vibrant, the dentistry place I used to work at, and people loved them.
Oh my god. I crack jokes at everybody. I don't care who you are. I will crack a joke.
What about the Indiegogo? He said, you have to do it now. The struggle is real. Mask coming soon from the Wheelers. Mindy's wheel art like wheelhouse. In New York, you will see everything. Yes, the mask doesn't work. Oh, Mike, you went there. You did go there today. Yeah, well, everybody's getting tired of the whole white privilege, black people this, all that.
Man, I swear to God, I'm going to start telling everybody, you know what? You are absolutely right. It is a privilege to be white. Thank you.
You said something about what if it was like to be born a cow? So
yeah, that was on someone else's stream. I was like, or no, it wasn't a stream. It was on Ed Matthews' Facebook. Like he wrote this thing, something about like looking at the whole BLM thing different. And I was like, oh man, somebody's drunk the liberal juice today.
Oh no. Oh no. No, not Ed. I like Ed. That sucks.
Well, it wasn't him. It was just someone on his page, you know. And yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Well, are you actually telling somebody, like, you got to think about this. Democrats are so fucking stupid that they don't even understand the words that come out of their own mouth. Okay? Like, you're telling somebody they have white privilege. Okay. So right now, just out the gate, you're saying, which you just told me that I have white privilege, you're saying right now that I'm better than you? Why, thank you.
That's kind of what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. I have white privilege. Well, thanks.
They would redirect you to the racial injustice, the systematic racism, and all that, and say maybe you didn't deserve to.
Show me where it's at. What policies exactly?
I'm sorry.
Are we talking about?
By this, Mindy, how do you escape BLM mobs? Throw chicken off a bridge. That's humor. I love it. Oh my god,
that's great.
It does make me cry a little. Can we just all laugh at race now and just enjoy it? Because, oh man, it reminds me of that Gabriel Iglesias racist gift basket. That's so funny. Go watch that skit. I think it's on Netflix. Oh man. I won't even try to reenact, but oh my god.
Grape Kool-Aid in there? Oh man, they know how to treat their comedians.
Oh god, it's funny. I'm crying. You know Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, the Mexican dude who has his own TV show now.
Refer to him by his title. He is king of the Mexicans.
I love the one where he goes to Saudi Arabia and he's got the falcon on his arm and he takes it home and it's trying to get people and he's in a club. He's like, oh, I'll take that to a club. The redhead. I can't do it. Oh, that is my Mexican. That is my iguana. That is my lizard. That is my Mexican. Oh God. Fun times. Go enjoy a laugh. Have a good rest of your week with Gabriel Iglesias skits. I can't even do my comic because of Mike and Timothy Olsen. How do you distract Antifa? Say, hey, look at that mixed couple. Ooh, that's good. I was making an episode 2 for that Antifa Adventures, and I had an ending like that where there's this guy, Brian, would get kicked out of the little Antifa club. It was a South Park animated episode, but I kind of missed the trending wave, and I never got episode 2 out. Got too busy. But they kicked Derek out because Derek is always making sense, and obviously he can't be around Antifa. And then he like meets somebody on the other at the outside of a different race. And they were like, oh, hey dude, hey. And they didn't care and they got along. And it just made Antifa just, that was a possible ending. The racist gift basket is on YouTube. Awesome. You guys should watch it. It's so funny. Fluffy is the man.
How do you stop an Antifa protest?
Here's another joke. How do you stop an Antifa protest?
You schedule a Fortnite tournament on that day.
Yep. They can't pass that up. Or, oh no, I can't do it. I thought I was trying to think of somebody I don't. Mindy Wheeler, did you hear about that Canadians sneaking over the border? They are presumed armed and extremely polite. Hey, maybe it's the Canadian in me that always wants to give people deals and be nice. But we didn't.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yes, of course. Yes. I used to say A. That's how Canadian I was. I used to go A.
And you always say sorry.
Sorry. I say it that way now. Sorry.
No, you
Sorry.
apologize all the time.
Oh, I know. I almost just did it now.
I know, see? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I apologize too much. All right, I'm getting tired. We should go to bed. We've been on for an hour and a half. We didn't even get to the Vampirella. Next week, guys, remind me. So there was a big thread that broke out. Last I checked, it had like 173 likes or whatever, and it was in some Vampirella fan art group, and the admin found out that I did a cover. And this was like during last week's drama with Cecil. And she tried to blame it on
the tranny admin.
Yeah, she's a tranny, I think, is what someone told me. She just does not understand conservatism at all. And it just, I have screenshots of her asking the most ridiculous thing, being so offensive. And she posted this thread out of nowhere. Like it's a fan group of, Vampirella has never been a conservative character. What does it mean to be a conservative Vampirella fan? Can somebody tell me? And it was total concern trolling, and she mentioned me several times, just talking shit, basically behind my back in a polite way, where she's all, well, if you were a publishing company, would you let a self-proclaimed conservative female artist work on your cover? And such and such. It was so blatantly obvious it was about me. And then I confronted her. I came on the thread and I was all, hi, if you want to actually ask me any questions, I'm right here if you want to hear my beliefs. And some people were mean, like, well, yeah, all we have to do is go on your Twitter, Mindy, and we can find out what you believe. It's all over there. But actually, most people on the thread were conservative. And I don't think the admin saw that one coming, and she kind of looked like an idiot, because there's a lot of conservative fans of Vampirella, of Lady Death, of Evil Ernie, of all kinds of characters in that kind of era. There's nothing conflicting. Conservative doesn't mean prude and religious. And so actually a lot of action has happened on my Facebook.
You should have said also Vampirella doesn't mean tranny.
Oh. She tried to pretend it wasn't about me. When I came on there, she goes, oh, well, thread wasn't about you. It was about Cecil. And I'm like, okay, well, then why does it mention conservative? Because Cecil's not a conservative. I heard that he's actually a left Trump supporter. Obama supporter. So what does this have to do with anything? The only thing going on at the time, she goes, well, it's about the news cycle. Well, the only other news cycle about Dynamite and Vampirella was that I was getting trolled. I made it on Gizmodo, my name, on this article about Dynamite, that I was a self-proclaimed, exactly the same word she is, conservative female artist that offended the Me Too movement and offended feminism. So, obviously it was about me. But she was like, no, it's not about you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll have to go over all that thread and my Facebook post, because I posted this really cute. I'll show you real quick. Okay, so this is for more adult eyes, if I can find it. Of my commission that I did, and it was so cute. It reminds me of a husband and wife, the love that they share. And I said, there's nothing wrong with being a conservative and, also liking this kind of content. Many people do. There's a misconception about conservatives that say we all are prude religious. That's not it. So this is my commission. Can you see it? It's so cute. See, I got 129 likes, 169 comments. I said, recently a thread broke out in a Vampirella fan group because the admin found out I was conservative and drew a sexy vampy cover. And they didn't understand how a conservative could possibly draw sexy characters. They obviously don't know anything about conservatives. Conservatives enjoy all kinds of content. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And so I think I also believe in having strong family values. I believe in God and the existence of good and evil, and organic growth, personal responsibility, and order instead of chaos. And hey, there ain't nothing wrong with being in love with your wife. And everybody loved the art. I think it's a cute commission. It's one of the best ones I've done, I think. I think it's cute. But, you know, this Vampirella, oh gosh, her comments were crazy. I'll go over them next week. But she was like, well, what are conservatives against then? She kept saying against. Are they against gays? Are they against this? Are they against that? And all the conservatives were super nice and like, no, it's just this and this and this. And one person said, you should check out the LGBT for Trump group. They're all, you know, they're conservative. And the admin laughed at it and went, ha, 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 LMAO or whatever with a laughy face. Like just so close-minded. It's ridiculous. All right. Then tell her there are only two genders. I'm going to try to go through the comments and then we'll go to bed because I'm tired. Rationality is dead. I know. And okay, so I'm working on this film. I don't know if I'm going to get it done when, but the whole, there's a defected KGB agent that talks about this. And he says it's a great brainwashing process to demoralize people to where they can't even have a rational conversation in defense of themselves, their best interests of their community, their country, that they can't even come to a rational thought. And it's here now. This is the world we live in now. I can't even do my comic book. Oh, okay. How do you distract Antifa? Yes. Mindy Wheeler, how do you stop Antifa from showing up? Flatten the tire to their parents' minivan. That's a good one. Was that part of your wedding vow to Mike? I vow to not say sorry or too much. No, but you know, Mike and I just got married. We didn't even have a big wedding. We just got married. We signed papers. Didn't have any family or anything there. And that's funny because apparently it's proportionate to the amount of money that you spend in weddings. Actually, the higher the divorce rate. So Mike and I spent about $0 and we're still here. Yay! Conservatives aren't against anything. Conservatives actually believe in things, right? That's what I'm saying. Leftists don't believe in anything. That's why they want to destroy everything. Yes, and that's why they want to attach to that label. What are you against? What are you anti? That's why the whole anti-CG thing is just silly to me. I mean, it's the same different stroke. In fact, I think CG in of itself is foundationally not conservative whatsoever because conservatives don't believe that societies should be responsible for building, humanity, that individuals build societies, not groups. That's not really in line with the whole organic growth and personal responsibility whatsoever. Because people could be in your group causing problems and they aren't held personally responsible. Comicsgate is not a conservative group. It does not align with conservative principles whatsoever. Just want to put that out there. Okay, I'm tired, Mike. Do you have anything else to say? I've been talking a lot.
Don't get killed.
Yes. All right. Well, you guys, we'll talk to you next Monday. Thanks for staying up late with us, and you guys rock. Don't get killed, and we'll see you later.